My mom was trying to bribe a kid, myself, that was showing very little interest in the things that were important to her and to life. I was so focused in sports and basketball. And so my mom came up with this bribe that if I did well in Bible quizzing, that she would buy me my first pair of Air Jordans. What I did, like any, 14-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, was figured out the easiest and fastest way to accomplish whatever I needed to win that prize.
24/7 mindset world. Thank you for caring and being here to share this moment with us. This is definitely going to be a very heartfelt one because I'm here with one of my best friends. So Robert is not only one of my greatest buddies. Hopefully we'll continue our great golf trips together. So as long as he doesn't make fun of my golf game, but most importantly, at the end of the day, he's a 24/7 mindset certified coach. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you think we'll be on the same team when we go to North Carolina, or or do you think that? I guess we won't know until we get out there, right?
I think it's kind of up to me because I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm one of the captains, so I could draft you.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So we're gonna be on the same team instead of you don't want to play against me, dude. I was undefeated the last time all three matches.
Yeah, I think there's a strong possibility that we could be teammates.
I love it. Good. All right. So one thing I would kind of want to share is like you had an amazing story, and I want the mortgage community to kind of understand one of your passions is sneakers. And one of your passions are Jordans and such from there that I know very little about. But what I want you to share about where'd your love come from sneakers? What was like the impactful story that you want to share, and how is it that loan officers really can tie into that to be able to actually get them to the next level?
Wow. So I was a college basketball player, and from a very early age, that was my dream. And so naturally, being a basketball player, you get into the sneakers that you wear, etc. You follow teams and icons, and for me, it was Michael Jordan. Um, I am a preacher's kid. And so I grew up in a home that often my parents sacrificed a lot for us, but they did all that they could with what they had. And
Yeah.
sometimes that wasn't much. So, Wally, when I was in eighth grade, again, being a preacher's kid, there was this thing called Bible quizzing. And it was a competition, where you learn the Bible, etc. My mom was trying to bribe a kid, myself, that was showing very little interest in the things that were important to her and to life. I was so focused in sports and basketball. And so my mom came up with this bribe that if I did well in Bible quizzing, that she would buy me my first pair of Air Jordans. That was a big sacrifice for them because at the time, we didn't spend over $100 on a pair of shoes. So what I did, like any, 14-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, was figured out the easiest and fastest way to accomplish whatever I needed to win that prize. At the time, one of the pieces of material, the books of the Bible that we were studying, was the book of Philemon, which is 31 verses. I memorized all 31 verses. Don't ask me to quote it today because I did what I could to fulfill that goal. But that was the fastest way for me to do it. So I memorized it and I was able to, learn that content. Long story short, my mom bought me my first pair of Air Jordans. I remember it. It was not far from you, Wally. We got it at the Parks Mall in
Okay.
Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
And that began my love for Air Jordans.
Okay.
I was already a sneakerhead. We always had shoes that we wore for the team, etc. And so that passion then, developed into an obsession, a sickness, where I know release dates and rare shoes, and for me, it's always been Air Jordans, and now it's kind of evolved into Kobe's as well. But that's it. I don't like my son, and I don't want to offend anybody, but my son comes in and he says, hey dad, could we get the Anthony Edwards? And I'm like, nope, they're Adidas. We're not, like, so it's something that I love. Now, it is funny, Wally, because I'm 47 now. So now I have to go through the litmus test of, could I actually wear these in public? And if the answer is no, then a lot of times I don't buy them.
Well, it's funny. Like last night, actually, it was Sunday night. Both my boys are in the same basketball league together. I was super like, wow. I couldn't even tell you the name, but it was called Kool-Aid shoes, like basketball shoes, and they were like, one was yellow and the other or green, and the other one was like red, and they're wearing it, and they've got. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many Jordans and Kobe's that they have, but I've got 3 pair of Kobe's that I absolutely love. One is the Black Mamba one. 2 is there says 24 and 8 all over like the shoe.
Yep.
And it's a white and black one. And there's additional one that I got for like the Aspire colors, and it's like purple. So it's a 24 and 8 like purple ones. And I wear the heck out of those.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm definitely more of a Kobe fan than a Jordan fan, just because I think I resonate much more with Kobe.
I've seen some of your shoes. I've seen one that's on your wall in the office at home. And so yeah, you've got some pretty sick sneakers.
Yeah. So fast forward a little bit of like, okay, so when that self-gratification of earning that shoe, how take it from there?
Well, so for me, it evolved into, and what it looks like today is that I have around my basement, I have a size 11, which is the size that I wear, in Jordans 1 through 14 in what is the most desired colorway. So whether it was what he wore in the playoffs or the hardest one to get, and they are in acrylic helmet cases. Okay, so they are unworn. They are one shoe displayed, the other one in the box behind it. I can show you some pictures, or if you come see me sometime, you'll see it. But so for me, when I started to have the resources to do that, and the way that it worked for me was Nike would release a Jordan, and even if it wasn't the one that ultimately would be on the wall, it went on the wall until they released the one that was going to. And so what I would do was put the shoe up until the one that I wanted came out or whatever, or I bought it on a other market like StockX or something like that. And when I got that shoe, I would put it on the wall, I'd take the other one down, and I would sell it. So it wasn't like, it is a lot of excess, right? But anyway, so I had the resources to start doing that, and I bought Third Street Financial in 2007, which, as everybody knows that's been around, that was the best time to buy a mortgage company. Not, right? So ran very lean for a while, and in 2009, it had gotten tough. Shoes came off the wall and got sold, right? Because I had some little kids, a family to think of. And so shoes got sold. Now, fast forward, when we got through that hard time, shoes started getting reacquired, and the collection is complete in terms of 1 through 14. And so now it's just fun, rare stuff, or like we talked about, Kobe's, etc. So
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I think it's a great story, but it's also, our kids will never understand, nor do we want them to understand, the sacrifice that we've got to make as like parents. It's our duty, it's our responsibility. But also, I feel like one thing I really enjoy about you and your sacrifices you make for your family is that you've also stepped out of your comfort zone, focusing on CPAs, financial advisors, family will attorneys, insurance agents, instead of only focusing on realtors. One thing I want you to share with the group is, when you transition of not solely focusing only on realtors and transition to be able to go after wealth partners, talk to us about like the confidence you had to personally have, or how did you get over that fake confidence, or that just how'd you get over that edge?
Well, I'm always a curious person, and you know this from our friendship and our relationship, and even back to kind of how we started to talk and meet, etc. I ask a lot of questions, and by asking questions, I'm not the one talking.
Okay.
And then when the wealth partner or the CPA or the attorney, etc., starts answering questions, I take mental notes or even physical notes. And then I'll go back and research something about what they said so that I know enough that the next time we have a conversation, I have more confidence in what we're talking about.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, Wally, one of the things you talk about a lot in your book, which is great, by the way, but
Thank you.
one of the things that you talk about a lot is the real estate side of things. And
Mhm.
it's not that you're talking about how to go get more deals. You're talking about how, loan originators or people that read your book can build a portfolio of their own. And then, you talk about the Burr method and everything else. So for me, when I joined a country club, I
Mhm.
started to have conversations with people about second homes and investment properties, which at the time, Wally, like that wasn't part of my background or my portfolio or anything. And I had to learn about, Section 8 housing or, the vacation home market, et cetera. And so as I heard things, I would go research things.
Okay.
And then when I was in the conversation the next time, I had more confidence. And so
Yeah.
one of the things that we talk about as coaches is as we get people to change their identity, they have to become inquisitive and then go research that stuff and use things like podcasts, chat GPT, YouTube videos, books, etc. And as they build that knowledge, the next time they're in that conversation, they can speak intelligently about it.
And I think that when you study the most successful people or most successful loan officers or any of that out there, there's a level of curiosity that's like unmatched. And with me, every book I read, every mentor I see, my biggest thing that I try to focus on, and this is why I try to embark on our students, is that I try to understand how they built whatever that they built. Meaning, as if I can understand the inner workings of how you built your success, I can rebuild, I can reduplicate your success. And I think when you realize really quickly, most people just really ask questions for the sake of asking questions. And they ask a question, it's like rapid fire questions. Like ask a question, they ask another question, they ask another question. What I've learned is ask one question, go 3 miniature leveled steep on every question until you can understand confidently of how they built A, B, and C. One, it's going to be a little much more meaningful. Two, you're going to get all the clues of how to be successful. But three, and most importantly, number three, is you're going to have a crystal clear understanding of what not to do. What were their mistakes? What would they have done differently? And I think when you realize that's the best way to be curious, your business, your mortgage business goes through the roof.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. All right. Closing thoughts. Give me 30 seconds of what is your closing thoughts for the mortgage, the 24/7 mindset world. And then how do they get a hold of you?
So the biggest thing that I would say in closing is that we have to become inquisitive people. And if you think about being in a conversation with somebody and trying to build a relationship, you don't want that person walking away thinking Robert talked about himself the whole time.
Yeah.
You want them thinking Robert cared who I am and who like what I do and really ask me a lot of questions about me. So the ninja tactic is to get into a conversation but be the one that talks the least. And
Yeah.
when you do that, the person feels that you genuinely care about them and they can't help but want to be around you more or have more conversation with you. Because Wally, regardless of being a decent person or not, we love to talk. We do. Like we love to tell stories, we love to get our words in, etc. And so when you're in the conversation with somebody as a 24/7 mindset person or as just a decent human being, ask questions and shut up and just listen. If you want to get a hold of me, it's easy. It's just a mortgage guy with the underscores, just underscore a underscore mortgage underscore guy, or robert.mortgage, or robert at 247mindset.com.
I love it. Thank you, Robert, for making time today. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, let me know if there's anything else we can do to help. If not, thank you for watching the show.